Back doing a different game today. Actually, let me check something here. Alright, sorry about that. Came back, had to check one of my settings. So starting this game, Planetbase, and I wanted to do this one. When I first bought this, I was a little kind of worried as to whether or not I'd really get into it, but it was only 20 bucks on the PlayStation Store. Basically, it's a kind of a world or base building game. Obviously, you're colonists. You set out on on an alien planet, basically to set up shop, build yourselves, habitats and things like that. It's not unlike SimCity, although I don't think it quite has the depth. But anyway, let's get in here. I've already started on a base. And I'll be honest, I was pleasantly surprised with this one. Like I said, when I bought it, I was on the fence. I was back and forth as to whether or not I was going to get it. And because I was like, it looked a little limited. It's not a gem graphically, but it's quite thoughtful. It's quite innovative, and it really forces you to think on the fly. Now, there's not a whole lot of there's really no story-based gameplay involved in this at all. Basically, you're building a planetary base. You're housing colonists, you're trying to attract more colonists, and you're trying to live. And basically, the first two times I did this, the first time I got about 36 colonists in, and they all died of starvation. Yes, you have to create your own food, which is done here in what they call the biodome. You can remove the lid on everything and kind of peek in and see what your workers are doing. Little red boxes here of vegetables. But basically the first set of colonists all starved to death because I went too fast. I built up too much too quickly, and they just were not producing food quick enough for, colonists to come in, or as quick as colonists were coming in. So people were dying off pretty quickly. Second time around I played it, I went a little too slow, didn't make myself an internal habitat quick enough, and all my colonists died of asphyxiation because I didn't get them into the oxygen quick enough. So basically you start off, you have a ship, it's a little planet capsule, not unlike the title page there. It lands, you start building things. You've got a couple different power options. You have solar power, which really is your best option. Obviously it's nighttime right now, so I'm not getting any solar power. You've got wind power, which is absolutely almost useless. I've got 3 or 4 of those. I've got 3 solar panels. These little guys right here they collect power during the day and keep your base running at night, because like I said, unless you get a really good wind, which is rare on this planet, these little wind turbines are pretty much useless. So moving through the base, you've got an airlock. People can get in and out. This here, I believe, is an oxygen generator. It is oxygen generator here. That noise was an asteroid or a little meteorite. That is one thing you have to contend with. You can get meteorites hit the planet. They can hit the base and destroy structures. I've lost about a dozen colonists who died in the impact. So you got to be careful for that. So like I said, you got an oxygen generator. I've got I think I've got 3 total on the base. Again, you can go into your grid, and basically if you look at the green, I'm producing enough oxygen for my colonists. I think each one will produce enough oxygen for 20 colonists. Power storage is low. Okay, so basically, I'm down to my last storage cell, which is the 3rd one here. You can see it blinking, which means it's draining. I'm using power. If you look up in the top left, the green area there, you've got a couple different things. Number 70 is how many colonists I have. 4 is how many robots I have on premises. The next one indicates either night or day. Obviously, you can tell we're going from nighttime into daytime. So I'm not too worried about my power usage, because the power usage is critical. But we're in daytime. You heard the solar generators kick in, so these things will slowly start to pick up power again. I have run out of power a couple times. Each one of your little units here, your airlocks, this is a mine, which I'm currently putting in overload right now because I'm trying to build some things. I'm getting ready to go through an expansion. But each one of your little cubbies takes power. So during the night, if you go into nighttime low on power, you're going to have to think on the fly and shut some things down that you think you don't need. This thing here draws a lot of power. This is a landing, obviously a landing pad for different ships to starport. If you go into landing permissions, you can choose, do we want colonists? Right now I have no colonists because I don't want to expand my number of people I have living there right now. I am allowing trader ships and visitors. Visitors come in and spend money. Right now I've got the whole thing shut off, mainly because I'm trying to conserve electricity, and I don't really want anybody to come into the base right now anyway, because I'm getting ready to expand a bit here, which I'll probably do in the next video because I'm just giving you guys a brief overview. Basically, you've got an airlock, people get in and out, oxygen generator. This over here draws water. It's a water extractor, water tower, stores water. Right now I'm all good there. Sick bay, I probably should open that up for the time being in case, because your people will get sick. Okay, we've got a sandstorm coming. So right now probably not the best time to send people outside. This will hurt you a little bit because while there's a sandstorm, you're not collecting any solar energy. And these things, while they are working, they're basically just running your base. So you're not really collecting any reserve energy to get you through the night. These sandstorms will typically last, depending on when they start, most of the day. And again, as you can see, your daytime timer is going. So I'm not going to use any extra power. Luckily, I turned my sick bay on because I've got a little guy in here who's sick. So I had a feeling I hadn't had anybody sick for a while. Basically, if things are running smooth, the only thing they do is because they do work, they may get sick from like malnutrition. Turn on your, turn the power on to your sick bay, and they'll go over and do that. So, you see the little robot coming in here? He just brought in medical supplies. Medical supplies are one of the many things that you have to produce on this base, and I will go into that in later episodes. Mainly just wanted to, like I said, give you guys a little tour of what I got going on here. Sleeping quarters for your colonists. Again, another mine, and like I said, right now I am on overtime on the mine because when you're mining ore, you can come over to, where's it at? I gotta find it. Hang on here. I've got myself turned around on my base. You come over to these two machines here. These are metal processors. Basically, your workers put the ore in there, turn it into metal. Metal can be used to build expansions to your base. Same thing with the other one here. This is a bioplastics processor. Produces bioplastic. Most of your extensions, parts of your base that you need to build, use both. Typically, they use about the same amount of metal as they do bioplastic, so it's always a good idea to have both on tap. And right now, Sandstorm's still killing me. I'm not getting any solar power. It should be ending soon, I'm hoping. There it goes. Okay. So it did end. Hopefully this third backup power thing will fill up and get me through the night because the day is almost over with. So basically said, this is just a little overview. As I said, I wasn't expecting a whole lot from this game for only $20, but like I said, it's pretty thoughtful. It forces you to think on the fly. You're getting through the night. I've run out of power a couple times. When you run out of power, the first thing to go are your oxygen generators, and I've started to lose oxygen throughout the night, and I barely made it through the night with nobody dying of asphyxiation, and it took me the rest of the entire day, at least in the game time day, for oxygen to return to all parts of my base. So basically that was just a little overview. In the next episode, I am going to go a little more in-depth into how to produce things, what everything does. I'll give you a little bit more in-depth on how to produce food, what it does with the food, and different things that you can do with the food. Anyway, just wanted to give you a little basic introduction there. I'm really enjoying this game a hell of a lot more than I thought I would.